So hello, we're with...
My name's Andrew Cramer. I'm Associate Dean for International Programs at Kaplan University in Hagerstown, Maryland.
Alright, so our first question for you is, what do you recommend students who come to education fairs like this to ask colleges when they go to their booths?
I think every college, every university that displays probably has some strength, something that they're proud of. And I think one of the good questions that a student can ask is, what do you think your university is best at? It may be a program, it may be a tuition structure, the cost, it may be the support that students get from teachers or from professors. So I think that when you have so many people selling their service, it's important for the student to ask what the sellers think they're best at. And any school that doesn't have an answer to that question is one that I would probably walk away from.
So, what's the best way to get scholarships at a university?
This is a problem not only for international students, it's a big issue for American students as well, trying to get into schools in the United States. So if you have questions about this, it's okay. University study has gotten very expensive, and it's a good question. There are different resources out there for students, international students and American students, online and actual publications that list all the scholarships and grants that are available. The biggest problem that we find with students is that they just don't know where to go, or that they give up, they don't try. So the important thing is to find the resources, either online or hard copy resources, and actually find the organizations that give scholarships and grants, and write to them and ask them. There's a lot of money out there for students that don't know that it's out there. That's the first thing. The second thing is, when you go to some of these schools here that have booths, is to ask them, if I sign up today, what kind of deal can you give me? If I apply and I get admitted, I want to know right now how much scholarship or grant you're going to give me. And oddly enough, you'd be surprised, a lot of these schools will actually make deals with you right here. They don't tell you that, but they're so anxious to get international students to have that presence on their campus that they'll do whatever they can to actually give you scholarships right there. So the best thing to do under all circumstances is ask. Try to find the information and ask.
All right, thank you. Our next question is, how do I apply for a college if I don't know what to major in?
Okay. The important thing about majors, when we talk about majors, is majors don't really become an issue until the last 2 years of your university study. The first 2 years of your university study, you're taking what we call general education requirements and some electives. So my advice to students is, don't worry if you don't know what you want to major in at first. You might want to make your decision based upon other things. For example, where is the school? How many foreign students are there? Are there other Koreans there, for example? Do I have a relative nearby? What's the climate like? What is my access to shopping or to food or to airports? And then, if you do have some idea about what you want to major in, and many Asian students do, they know what they're going to major in. They're not like American students who go and 3 years later they decide. Many Asian students know what they want. Then you start going to schools and you find out which program is the strongest in a school. So the way I did it is I narrowed it down to the geographical area that I wanted to go to school. And then in that area, I tried to find the schools that had the program that I was interested in. I then get reviews on that program to see of these 3 schools, for example, that have a philosophy major, which one is the highest rated. And then I make my decision combining all those factors. So make a long story short, don't worry too much about your major. That doesn't happen until your last 2 years. Focus on some other things during the first 2 years. And if you do know what you want to take, then try to find the schools that have the best programs and try to find the qualities and attributes of those schools and pick from there.
Thank you. Our final question for you today is, how would you suggest that students get the vibe or the feel of a campus without actually visiting the campus, because visits can be so expensive?
That's a great question, and probably of all the questions you've asked me, that's the one that it's the most difficult to answer. There's a couple things you can do in today's information age. Most schools have videos and presentations and testimonials and conversations that are all in their website, embedded in their website. And you can a school that doesn't have any information or any videos or any testimonials online is one maybe I would stay away from. You want to go to a school that has something online that tells you a little bit about who they are and where they are. Otherwise, you have to go and you have to talk to people at the fairs and ask them, how safe is it? What is my access to food, to shopping? Will my parents be able to visit? Will I be able to communicate with my parents? Can I get on a bus? Can I get on a train? What's the nearest city? What's the nearest airport? A lot of it's what might refer to as proactive. It means you have to ask. You have to go out there and seek that information. Otherwise, to just pick out a booth and say, okay, I can get in, I'll apply, is not good. You have to seek out the information. For American universities, it's very important for them to have you on campus. Right? American universities like to have students come and stay there. The American university experience is considered very important. If you can't actually see the university, then you have to see whatever resources they have online or at their booths. Beyond that, phone calls and other people, alumni associations. One of the things I would recommend is in Korea, for example, if you're interested in Cal State Berkeley, for example, or University of California, Berkeley, you would find out West Virginia University, which is right over there. You would find out where their alumni are in Korea, and you would talk to their alumni, people who have graduated from there. Some of these schools have very strong alumni associations, so you would find out who the alumni are, and you would call them. And you would say, okay, look, I want to go to West Virginia University, for example, or Berkeley, or Kaplan. You would speak to an alumni. What can I expect? That's the best way to do it. There's no perfect answer.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you for
welcome.
your time.
Sure, my pleasure.
To look for scholarships, I would start at a place called the Scholarship Advisor because it lists a whole bunch of different scholarships and all the requirements. It's an ever-growing website that keeps adding more and more scholarships, so eventually it will be very comprehensive and it's growing.
Okay, thank you so much.